Okay, so I want to go through and do a Eclipse Phase character creation. Um, Eclipse Phase is a tabletop role-playing game from Post-Human Studios. Is it also in some way associated with Catalyst Game Labs? Yes. At any rate, it's a far future science fiction game. So let's see what appeals to me. Um, Colonist Enclaver, because the Enclave on Earth would have been I guess, a dangerous, barely surviving post cataclysmic environment. Hmm. I think we can do better than that. Well, let's see. Freelancer, hyper elite, info life, and AGI. Well, let's see.
Oh, hey, welcome. What's up?
What type of person is an enclaver, and why is an enclaver's life precarious? Yeah, what makes an enclaver's life precarious?
That's a really insightful question, and it gets to the heart of something often overlooked in these advanced futures.
Yeah, you'd think an enclave would imply safety, right? A protected zone.
Exactly, but in the context of Eclipse Phase, especially on Earth, precarious means a few things.
Our sources actually paint a pretty vivid picture of it.
For one, there's the sheer devastation outside. Earth itself is a charred homeworld, right?
Surrounded by rings of devastated stations and frozen corpses.
So even if your enclave is safe inside, the outside world is incredibly hostile.
You're dealing with Titan war machines, radiation zones.
And just a weather system gone mad, it's not a place you want to be.
Plus, within the enclaves, life isn't necessarily easy.
We see that with Tearsley, for instance, coming from the Mojave tent slums.
Even after escaping the favelas of Sao Paulo, she's still in this crippling miasma of cyclic poverty.
So, protected stability is a relative term. You might be safe from the immediate external dangers,
But you're still grappling with systemic issues
like economic hardship, class divisions, even bigotry.
and the constant threat.
Okay, I get it. Um, yeah, freelancer, a cog in the wheels of hyper capitalism.
Of those external dangers. Ah, yeah, uh-huh.
So, what is the interface skill?
Oh, that's a great question. And it actually ties directly into how people navigate those precarious enclaves.
Absolutely. The interface skill is fundamental to almost everything in this future.
Okay, let's unpack this. Our sources describe interface as using and understanding electronic devices, software, networks, sensors, and weapon systems.
It's basically your ability to interact with the digital world that permeates everything.
Yeah, everything from your mesh servers and cloud services to controlling habitat systems.
And even, hey, yeah, what's up?
Okay, but how is interface different from programming? The program skill then, or like no data processing?
That is such a good follow-up question because on the surface, they do sound similar.
And it highlights a really important distinction in how these skills are defined.
So if interface is about using and understanding technology, Program is about creating and modifying it.
Exactly. Our sources define program as dealing with writing and modifying software code.
Think of interface as a skilled driver of a car. They know how to operate it, get where they're going.
Oh, yeah, uh-huh.
Okay, I got that. So what are the benefits of being an indenture background rather than a freelancer? I guess, and also lore wise, what's the difference?
Oh, that's a fantastic question, and it really dives into the social fabric of this future.
Absolutely. The distinction between an indenture and a freelancer is central to understanding economic life.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit because our sources give us some pretty stark contrasts here.
At its core, an indenture is essentially someone in debt slavery, often an infuge or AGI.
Right, someone who survived the fall as a bodiless infomorph.
They're often contracted to work off their debt to hypercorporations that reinstance them.
The hypercorp pays to bring them back to consciousness.
But then the infuge has to work to reimburse the hypercorp for their living, training, and a new morph.
Our sources call this debt slavery,
Critics decry this as a system of debt slavery, yes. They're often hit with hidden expense charges, too.
which force them to extend their contracts. Oh, back to our listener. What's up?
So all indentures are info lives, or all info lives?
Indenture is effectively in a system of debt slavery.
Yes, that's exactly it. They're often
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, are all indentures info life, and or are all info life indentures?
That's a really sharp question, and it's a critical distinction.
Yeah, it sounds like it could be a simple yes or no, but it's more complex.
So not all infolife are indentures.
And not all indentures are infolife either.
Our sources make it clear that infuges, those bodiless infomorphs, often become indentures.
Because they're desperate for a body and a place in society.
But infolife is a broader category.
Oh, yeah. Go on.
Okay, sell me on picking the background of a the doomed lost generation.
That's a fascinating pivot, and it opens up a whole different kind of precariousness.
Oh, this is a juicy one. The Lost Generation, you said.
Absolutely. To sell you on it, we need to understand its unique and rather tragic benefits.
Okay, let's unpack this doomed background.
Our sources call the Lost Generation a corporate project to raise kids under accelerated conditions.
Yeah, led by Cognite, it was called the Future Project.
The goal was to simulate an entire childhood through time-contracted virtual reality.
So new productive citizens would be ready for work in 3 years instead of 18.
Thousands were born in exorooms specifically for this.
And then sleeved into quick-growing biomorphs, the futuromorphs.
So, on the surface, a benefit was accelerated development.
You'd subjectively
Yep, go on.
Why would they have to use quick growing morphs? I mean, can't they fabricate morphs? What percentage of morphs are fabricated versus grown biologically? I mean, I doubt that there's much in the way of. I mean, how much biological reproduction are people actually doing versus fabricating their morphs?
That's a really incisive question, and it gets to the core of this future's biology and technology.
Yeah, why quick-growing instead of just, poof, a ready-made body?
Our sources indicate that biomorphs, which are fully biological sleeves, are time-intensive to grow.
Right, even with genetic modifications and implants.
The Future Project specifically used embryos culled from extant genetic material.
And gestated them in hautoexomes on Luna and Mars.
They were brought to term between 1 week and 6 months after birth.
Then transferred for further development into these quick-growing biomorphs.
So the quick growing aspect was about getting them into a functional body faster.
It's an acceleration of a natural process, not a complete fabrication.
As for the percentage of fabricated versus biologically grown morphs, our sources don't give exact numbers.
But they do paint a clear picture of the landscape.
Biomorphs are most in demand due to familiarity.
But they're expensive and hard to acquire because they take time to grow.
Pods, which are mostly biological but vat-grown in pieces and assembled, are quicker.
They're a kind of middle ground, often used by indentures.
Then you have synthmorphs, the artificial bodies.
These are common, though often mass-produced and low quality. They're cheaper and quicker to make than biomorphs.
So after the fall, many infugees ended up in synthmorphs, leading to the clanking masses stigma.
So while there's a strong desire for biological bodies, the reality is that fabricated and semi-fabricated morphs are very prevalent due to cost and speed.
And regarding biological reproduction, our sources say it's quite rare.
Reproduction is a process that now truly lives up to the mechanical name it has long had.
Most biological life now begins in exosomes. Many morphs actually
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Um, what kind of background would have an elite synth synthetic synth morph? Because like to me, what really appeals is this idea of having a completely fabricated sort of avatar that I can walk around in, or even having several that I can switch between. You know, a tall one, a short one, a flying one, a strong one, that sort of thing. So if I were hyper elite, would I be able to re-sleeve on a whim? How can I create a character like that? Possibly just by selecting hyper elite. Okay, and then I'll add my fields and specialties myself. Oh, I see. Heh. Is that true for all of these? Yeah, they all have fields and specialties. Okay, stock market. Amazing. Career. Covert operative, enforcer, explorer.
Imagine a future
Yeah, I don't have to.
where
What's
the
a
human body just
what's a
becomes
gene hacker? Oh no.
Right.
where death is. Oh, wait. Someone wants to join.
Yes.
Go for it.
Hi, thanks. So I want to be able to switch rapidly, re-sleeve between lots of different kinds of bodies. What kind of career should I pick for that?
Hi, welcome. That's a fantastic point, and honestly, a huge part of what makes this universe so unique.
Yeah, that desire for rapid switching, it's totally achievable here.
In Eclipse Phase, your body, your morph, is absolutely a customizable vehicle.
You can acquire new morphs, whether you're forking, ego casting, or just re-sleeving because you want to change.
And this process of resleeving can be incredibly quick, especially with a cyber brain taking just an action turn.
So you could literally be an augmented vid star in one moment.
And then a robotic insect, as the source puts it, in the next, and neither with
Oh, back to our listener.
Wait, what is a cyber brain? How do I get a cyber brain? Or would I rather not have one because it's inorganic?
That's a really insightful question, and it gets right to the heart of things.
Yeah, good catch. The cyber brain is super central to all this morph switching.
You can absolutely get a cyber brain. They're actually quite common, especially in the outer system.
They're essentially specialized hardware for running your digitized mind.
Think of it as a host for your infomorph, allowing an ego to control a synthetic or biological body.
And the big advantage, as you noted, is easier and faster re-sleeving.
Just an action turn to transfer your consciousness. Plus, they have built-in mnemonic memory augmentations.
So better memory recall, which is a definite perk.
Now, your question about whether you'd rather not have one because it's inorganic is also very valid.
Because there are definitely downsides to this advanced tech.
The primary one being cyber brains are vulnerable to hacking, just like any other electronic device.
So while it offers incredible flexibility and speed for switching bodies, it also opens you up to unique risks.
Your mind state, your very self, could be subverted or even deleted if hacked.
And there are groups, like the Jovians we'll talk about, who actively reject cyberbrains.
They view them as an abomination of nature, preferring purely biological brains.
So it's a trade-off. Incredible convenience.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, so I think I want a cyber brain. I want to be a scavenger, but I want to have a hyper elite background. So I don't know if a scavenger means that I'm a pleasure seeker, or if I'm looking for artifacts for fun, or if I'm an archaeologist or something. I'm not sure exactly, but I like the idea of being an adventuring hyper elite and not necessarily an enforcer.
Fantastic combination.
Yeah, an adventuring, hyperlight scavenger with a cyberbrain. I love it.
Choosing a cyber brain certainly gives you that rapid morph switching flexibility we just discussed.
And a scavenger career with a hyperlight background is really interesting.
Scavengers are all about finding value in destruction.
Like literally sifting through the bones of a habitat after the fall.
They're adept at pulling.
Ah, yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, what is an async and what is the Watts-MacLeod strain of exurgent virus? What is it? What makes me an async? Is it just I have these added skills?
That is an excellent, excellent question, and it's something we were absolutely going to get to.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest, most intriguing mysteries of this universe.
So, an async is essentially a person who has developed psi abilities.
Like psychic powers, right?
Exactly, but here's where it gets really interesting. These aren't just innate gifts,
They're a direct result of being infected by something called the Watts-McLeod strain.
which is a mutated version of the exurgent virus.
So it's a virus that gives you powers.
Yes, it physically modifies your brain's architecture and functions.
And what makes it even stranger is that this strain is considered strangely benevolent compared to other exurgent viruses.
It gives you these mental talents without the excessive transformative processes of other strains.
Meaning you don't turn into some alien monstrosity.
For the most part, your personality stays intact and you're not infectious to others.
But don't misunderstand, it's still an infection.
The virus has a hold over you, and it comes with drawbacks.
Like mental fragmentation, which can manifest as an addiction or a mental disorder.
And you gain an infection rating that indicates the strength of the virus's hold.
So it's a gift of terrible power, as the source puts it, with an unknown cost.
Your question about having added skills is spot on.
Asyncs manipulate their egos and create effects that cannot be matched nor mimicked by technological means.
These are called sleights, and they fall into two categories.
Psi-Chi are passive, always-on cognitive enhancements.
And psi gamma sleights allow you to read and manipulate brainwaves affecting biological minds.
But using Psi-Gamma sleights can cause your infection to flare up. Oh yeah, let's hear it.
That's too complicated. I think I'm gonna pick jammer. Even though I already have some pilot from my
Totally understandable feeling. The async concept does have a lot of layers and trade-offs.
Yeah, we just went deep there.
And becoming a jammer is actually a fantastic choice, especially for an adventuring scavenger.
A jammer focuses on sophisticated combat drones and nanomachines.
They essentially field a whole team of bots.
So instead of mind powers, you're looking at technological mastery.
Oh, yeah, uh-huh.
Okay, so what kind of faction would be most appropriate to me?
That's a perfect follow-up question.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Given your choices, hyper-elite background, scavenger career, cyberbrain, and now jammer, we can definitely narrow it down.
You're all about high-tech solutions, exploring, and finding value.
So a faction that aligns with those values would be ideal.
The source material gives us a few strong candidates.
Let's consider the Hypercorp faction.
They support hypercapitalist expansion and competitive economics.
And they accept that certain liberties are restricted for security.
Given your hyperlight background, you might have connections or even grew up within that system.
Your wealth and interest in acquiring valuable tech would fit right in.
Or you could lean into the extropian faction
They believe in unrestricted free markets.
and proactively taking risks with technology.
Hey, yeah, what's up?
Honestly, something that sounds really cool and appealing to me would be splitting my consciousness between multiple vehicles. Would that fit me with the scum faction?
That does sound cool, and it's totally achievable.
You're touching on forking your ego, which we definitely want to explore.
It's one of the most revolutionary aspects of this future.
With your cyberbrain, forking is especially efficient, happening in an action turn.
So you could absolutely split your consciousness.
And have multiple versions of yourself, your forks, operating simultaneously.
Imagine sending one fork to pilot a scout vehicle.
Another to operate. Yep, go on.
Okay, but just tell me more about what it would mean to join the scum faction as opposed to the extropian faction.
That's a great question, and it highlights a really important distinction in this universe.
Yes, scum and extropians are both autonomists.
But they represent very different approaches to freedom and society.
Extropians, as we touched on, are all about market anarchism.
They embrace private property and free markets without governments.
So everything is a commodity: life support, security, housing.
Laws are replaced by contracts between individuals or corporate entities.
And enforced by freelance judiciaries.
They're big on unrestricted nanofabrication, meaning anyone with a fabber can meet basic needs.
So it's very much about individual liberty and economic freedom.
The scum, on the other hand, are more focused on radical self-expression and hedonism.
They're societal dropouts who've rejected normie transhuman culture.
Pursuing life to the fullest with drugs, body mods, sex, art.
They believe a life in a cage isn't worth living.
While some scum are anarchists, many take politics.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go with extropian and just be this like black and gold, what's it called, libertarian.
Ah, okay, so you're leaning into the extropian faction. Excellent choice.
And yes, you're spot on with the libertarian connection.
They often identify as anarcho-capitalists, which is that black and gold libertarian-esque vibe you're talking about.
They believe that capitalism and anarchism aren't incompatible at all.
It's all about individual liberty and economic freedom, as we mentioned.
Scum, as we were just starting to discuss, are generally a bit different.
They often take politics less seriously than extropians.
They pursue life to the fullest with drugs, body mods, sex, art.
Well, extropians are still... Oh, go for it.
Don't worry about it. So let's see. I'm gonna apply the survivor template to focus my aptitudes on what Psalm and will.
Okay, understood. No worries at all.
That's a great choice, focusing on survival for your aptitudes.
The survivor aptitude template is excellent for that.
It naturally boosts your willpower and somatic scores.
So you're looking at a higher WL in some.
Willpower is your self-control and mental fortitude.
Essential for resisting fear or emotional manipulation.
And somatic is your physical capability and resilience.
That's perfect for a scavenger who's out there in potentially dangerous environments.
Sifting through debris, maybe getting into scraps.
With that high willpower, you'll be able to keep your composure.
Even in stressful situations. Oh yeah, go on.
Okay, so I need to go through my character sheet now and assign the specialties for some of my skills. Like a pilot, I think I have skills in 2 kinds of piloting.
Oh, that's a fantastic next step.
You're absolutely right to think about specializations now.
Especially with piloting, where you have multiple fields.
So with pilot, you'd choose a specific field first.
Like pilot, air, pilot, ground, pilot, nautical, or pilot, space.
And then within each of those fields, you can choose a specialization.
So if you have pilot air, you could specialize in, say, barrel rolling a plane.
Or if it's pilot ground, maybe drifting a car.
Each specialization gives you a +10 bonus when you use that skill.
As long as it's appropriate to the specific situation.
So it's about fine-tuning your expertise.
Making your jammer even more effective with specific types of drones or vehicles.
It costs 1 customization point per specialization.
And you can get creative with your GM to make new ones too.
Okay, so you're choosing this.
Oh, go for it.
So, what kind of piloting should I have in addition to air?
That's a great question, given your jammer focus and scavenger role.
Yeah, you've got a lot of interesting options here.
Since you're an extropian scavenger, always looking for value.
And you mentioned wanting to split your consciousness across multiple vehicles.
Pilot, space would be incredibly useful.
The source mentions that spacecraft are primarily dealt with as a setting environment.
But you might be called on to navigate or pilot a ship.
So if you're exploring ruins, you'll need to get there first.
Or perhaps maneuver your cargo ship through debris fields.
For your jamper, piloting drones in space would also fall under pilot space.
It allows you to obtain a position of advantage in a fight.
Or perform a high G maneuver to evade pursuers.
So it's perfect for scouting or retrieving artifacts in deep space.
And with your cyber brain, switching to a morph that's perfect for space piloting is super fast.
Now a specialization for pilot. Space.
You could choose something like high G maneuvers or stealth maneuvers.
Okay, you're talking. I'll be talking. So I'm going to pick stock market because I'm not really interested.
That would give you a... Oh, yeah,
Okay, so for my knowledge, I'm going to pick stock market because I'm not interested in internal hypercorp. I'm an external sort of independent kind of guy. I'm going to also... I guess I'll go economics rather than like political science or law, just to say that I know how to follow market trends. For hardware, I think I will go with I think I'll go with robotics because I want to be able to like fix drones and do drones. I also know demolitions, which is great. So air, space. Apparently I got pilot a bunch of times, so maybe I will also go ground. And I might actually swap out space for nautical.
For your nose skills and hardware fields.
That really rounds out your extropian scavenger jammer, making them incredibly capable.
Yeah, picking stock market for your nose skill instead of internal hypercorp totally fits that independent extropian vibe.
You're all about understanding the external market, spotting trends, and making a profit.
It's very much in line with that anarcho-capitalist mindset we discussed.
And choosing economics further emphasizes your knack for market trends.
Oh, back to our listener.
Why is my aptitude for no skills ambiguous? Like, does it change based on the specialization?
That's a really sharp question. You're getting right to the core mechanics.
What's fascinating here is that defaulting is how you use an aptitude when you don't have a specific skill.
So if you like a skill, say guns, you can still attempt to shoot something.
But you'd use your reflexes aptitude as the target number instead.
There's no penalty for doing this, but you also don't get critical successes.
In some cases, your GM might even let you default to a related skill.
Like trying to fix a gun without hardware skills, you could use your gun skill.
But then a modifier, usually -10 to -30, would apply.
So your aptitudes are your natural inherent abilities, the foundation for your skills.
They're what you fall back on when you don't have specialized training.
This means your aptitudes don't directly change for no skills.
Instead, they are the no skills option. Your aptitudes are your base, your raw talent.
It's what you rely on when no specific learned skill applies.
Does that make a little more sense?
So your chosen survivor template.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's not really what I asked. I'm just wondering what aptitude goes for what knowledge skills or what no skill.
That's a great follow-up question. It's actually really clearly defined.
You're right to ask for specifics. For no skills, the linked aptitudes are either cognition or intuition.
Yeah, the source explicitly states that.
So academics, interests, and professional training fields for no skills are linked to cognition,
That makes sense for things like no chemistry or no stock market.
while arts fields for no skills are linked to intuition.
So no, music or no, drawing would use your INT.
And this is important because if you don't have a specific no skill, you default to that linked aptitude.
With your survivor template, your intuition is 15 and your cognition is 15.
So you have a solid foundation for both types of no skills.
It's those base abilities you fall back on.
So if you were trying to identify a particular substance and you didn't have no chemistry,
Ah,
What are my hardware specialization options?
that's a great question, focusing on your practical skills.
yeah, that's really important for your jammer character.
For hardware, the specializations are very much tied to the field you choose.
So you picked robotics and demolitions earlier, right?
For hardware, robotics, you could specialize in things like bots or synthmorphs.
That would give you a +10 bonus when working with those specific types of machines.
And for hardware, demolitions, you could specialize in something like explosives disarming.
Or maybe making explosives, depending on your focus.
The source also lists fields like aerospace, armorer, electronics, and groundcraft.
Each of those would have its own. Oh, yeah, let's hear it.
Somehow during character creation, I ended up with hardware robotics twice, once at 40 and once at 60. Which is whatever. A rep, C rep, F rep. 60/40 and a couple of networks. Okay, this is quite involved. Well, maybe I'll come back and do this later. We're going to do an evening of it at the tabletop. So hopefully we can do the life path version.